Happy Friday, friends! Today is October the 9th, and it is day 7 of Number Corner. I hope you're well today. It's Friday. That means we're almost to the weekend, so I need you to bear with me. We're going to make it through this video together. You're going to make the effort to participate, and we're going to get it all done, and then you guys can enjoy your weekend when the school day is over. Are you ready? All right. Well, today we're going to update our calendar grid, and then we're going to learn a new game, which is great for a Friday because I think it'll be fun. So let's jump right in and let's look at our calendar grid. Here it is behind me. You may notice it. Excuse me. Are we good with that? All right. Well, let's talk about our game. So the next part of what we're going to do today is... So we've done this. We are going to talk about our Race to the Millions game. Yesterday, you guys, you had a turn. So today, Miss Tramel's going to have a turn. Oh, I was wrong. I did go yesterday. So that means today, it's your turn. We've each had 3 full turns right now. And so before you take your turn, I want us to talk about what strategy you're using to determine or to decide what place to put your number that you spin. Remember, we only get to choose between 5 different place values, and we can only use each place value twice. So you guys have already used your 10,000s. You've used the thousands and hundreds, but the only ones you have left to use now are tens. You have hundreds, thousands, and you have both your 100,000s left over, which may or may not be a good thing. I guess we'll find out by the end of the month. So how are you making that decision? Or maybe I should ask, how should you make that decision now that we've played a few rounds? Yeah, if you get a big number, where are you going to want to save that big number? What place are you going to put a big number in? Probably the biggest place value that we have to choose from. So does that mean that if you roll a 2, you should put it in the 100,000s? No. What might be a good place value to put a 2 in? The tens, maybe even the hundreds. All right. If you roll a 9, would you want to put the 9 in the tens place? No, that would be silly. We want to put the biggest number in the biggest place value. Okay. So that means where are you going to put the smaller number? Right, you're going to save that for the smaller place value. And I just gave you an example. So tens are going to be, we want tens. We're trying to save tens for our smaller numbers. And then we're going to try to save our 100,000s or our larger place values for our bigger numbers. So just so happens that today's turn is you guys, the students. So we're going to roll, and now that we have some new knowledge about some strategy behind this game, we're going to play it, and hopefully we'll do a better job. Today you get a spin, so let's see what number you get. Here we go. Oh, that looks like it's on the 1, don't you think? Let me zoom in just to make sure. It is on the 1. So where would you want to put that number, that digit? In what place value? You better had said the tens. You definitely want to put 1s in the 100,000s because, again, we're going to hope, or the hope is that eventually we will spin a higher number. So we're going to put the 1 in the tens place, which means we have 10. If we have 10 and we're adding 10 to 44,000, what is our total? Good, 44,000. Awesome job. So tomorrow I'll go and I guess we'll see what Miss Tramel will get. Well, not tomorrow because today's Friday. Monday I'll go. Okay, so, remember I said we're going to play a new game? Well, we are. And that game is called Roll and Round. So let's see what that game is all about. Right. so here it is. And I am going to zoom in a little bit. And I think I might move myself over here so I can scroll over some. Guess I'll gotta make myself smaller and put myself down here. Okay, so here's how this game is going to work. You may notice there are 6 dice, 6 separate dice, because guess what we're going to do? We're going to create a 6-digit number. So you're going to roll a dice that has the numbers 1 through 6 on them 3 times. You're going to roll a dice that has the numbers 4 through 9 on them 3 times, and that's going to give you 6 different digits. Your job is to put those digits in an order. And once we put them in an order, that is going to be that's going to be considered our original number. And that's going to go for both teams in a round. So if you guys were to roll 6 dice and create an original number, then everybody's using that original number. And that is our number for round 1. Make sense so far? Okay. In round 1, we're going to take that original number and we're going to round it to the nearest 100 thousands. I am going to move myself back over here so we can see. So in round 1, we're going to round it to the nearest 100 thousands, and you see that represented here. Round 2 to the 10 thousands, and round 3 to the thousands. The way you score in this game is you are then, after we got our original number, you're going to roll the dice. Each team rolls the dice, so students against Ms. Tramiel, like always. And you're going to try to create a number using those digits that will, the closest number possible, hopefully, that will roll to our target number. If you can create a number that will roll to our target number, then you get a point. And then it's my turn. And I roll the 6 dice. I try to create a target number that will, or roll, that will round to our target number. Which brings me to rounding rules. Do y'all know about rounding rules? Okay, so when you're rounding to a certain place value, the place that you're rounding to. So the first time we're rounding to the nearest 100 thousands. So if we're rounding to the 100 thousands, we're going to look at the digit to the right. That means we're looking at the 10 thousands place. And if that number is 5 or more, we're rounding up to the next number. And if that number is 4 or less, then we're rounding down. And the reason we're doing that is because that means that number is closer to that multiple of 10. Okay? So for an example, let's think about a frog having a race. Let's say my number is, and I'm going to start with small numbers, 19. And I have a frog on 10 and a frog on 20 because 19 is in between 10 and 20, right? Okay, so if I'm the frog here, which frog's going to win? Who has to hop the least distance? Right, the frog over here on 20, because I'd only have to hop 1. If I were to choose the frog on 10, that means I'm hopping 9, and that's going to take me way long to get there, and I'm going to lose. And you know Ms. Tramiel likes to win. So, bigger number. If my number is 120, I'm rounding to the nearest hundreds. Then 120, we got 120, so it's between 100 and 200. Would I want to jump 20 to get to 120, or would I want to jump 80 to get to 120? Yeah, definitely would want to jump 20, which means 120 is closer to 100 than it is to 200. So what if I had 1,600, and I'm rounding to the nearest thousands? If the number is 1,600, that means I have it's between 1,000, because I have 1,000 already, and then the next 1,000 would be 2,000. So 400 is the distance between 1,600 and 2,000, and 600 is the distance between 1,600. Which one's closer? Is it closer to 2,000 or 1,000? 2,000. That's how we're going to think about rounding for this game. So let's go ahead and start with our first round. I am going to roll for our target number. So here we go. I'm going to toss all 3 at the same time just to make it easy for me. Or maybe not. And then I'm going to toss all 3 of my second number. And oh, there it goes. It's like taking forever. Okay, so I have the digits 1, 5, 6, 8, 5, and 9. So I'm actually going to take those digits and I'm just going to line them up left to right. So I'm going to say 1, 5, 6, and then 8, 5, 9. That is the original number that we are rolling. Everybody good so far? Okay, well, since we are just learning this game, I will be team number 1, and I will go first, and then you guys can go second, okay? So I now need to roll again. So I'm going to press toss, I'm going to wait for it to stop, and I'm going to have to figure out how I can organize these digits in order to round. Oh wait, Ms. Trammell forgot something. We have to round this number, 156,859, to the nearest hundred thousands. The 1 is in the hundred thousands place, guys. The 1. That means we're looking at the 5. So with 5 or more, we're going to round up. That means it's closer to the next 100,000, which would be 200,000. Okay, so I'm going to put that here. This is my target number. This is the number I am trying to get to. That means I need to create a number that's going to round to 200,000. Here are my digits, 2, 5, 2, 6, 6, 9. I know that if I'm trying to round to 200,000, I'm not going to put a 6 in the 100,000th place, a 5 or a 9, because 200,000 is less than that. So I'm going to have to start with the 2 in the 100,000th place. Okay? And since I'm rounding to the 100,000th place, that means really I'm focusing on the place to the right, which is the 10,000th place. And I need to round to 200,000. And since I'm starting with a 2 as my first number, that means I'm probably going to want to round down. So the number to the right of me has to be less than 5. So automatically that tells me that this is going to be how my number starts off. Does it really matter where I put the remaining numbers? Really, it doesn't matter because I'm not paying attention to those numbers at all. But Ms. Trammell is going to try to create the number that is closest to 200,000, which means I need to save my biggest digits for smaller place values. Okay, so here's my number, which rounds indeed to 200,000. And guess what that means? I get a point. Go me. Go me. But hopefully you guys can get a point too. So I was able to round to 200,000, so now Miss Trammell needs a point, and I'll keep me green. Yay! All right, your turn. Let's toss. And voila! 2, 4, 4, 9, 8, and 8. All right, so tell me what you're thinking. I hope you're thinking that a 2 has to go in the 100,000s place because we're rounding to 200,000. Question is, what's going to go to the right of the 2? 4, 9, or 8? Remember, we're starting with a 2, so we want to round down. You got it. It has to be a 4 next to that 2. And Ms. Trammell says we should try to get the closest. So I'm going to put the next few digits in order. And guess what? You guys just got a point because this number indeed rounds to 200,000. Awesome job. All right, so now we're going to take this same original number, and for round 2, we're going to round it to the thousands place. So I'm going to erase this. I'm going to make sure you know where the 10,000s place is, which is here, which means we're really looking at the number to the right, which is in the thousands place. And that number is going to tell us if we're rounding up or if we're rounding down. So it's a 6. So how are we rounding? Are we going to round it to 160, which is rounding up to the next 10,000s? Or are we rounding it down to 150,000? Yeah, we're going to round it up. Because 5 or more, we're going to round it up. So that means our new target number is 160,000. All right. So Ms. Trammell was team 1. Oh, I didn't give you guys your point. I'm sorry. Let me give you your point. You did get a point, so good job. Here it is. All right. So let me roll. Come on, come on. Stop. Yikers. What do you notice? Can Miss Trammell create a number that rounds to 160,000 with these digits? That must mean I can roll again, right? No, that would be cheating. So we're not going to roll again. But I already know I'm not going to get a point for this round, and that is okay. But what I am going to do is I'm still going to try to create the smallest number possible. And in order to do that, I need to start with the smallest digit. So that means my number is going to be 2, 3, 5, 6, 6, 7. 235,667. Well, what does that number round to when you're rounding it to the nearest 10,000s? Yeah, that means I'm looking at the 5, so I'm rounding up. 240,000. 240,000. Ms. Trammell gets no points. So let's see what you're going to roll. Toss, toss. And stop. Do you think you guys can create a number that's going to round to 160,000? No. Yes, that means I'm not the only one who didn't get a point. So we still got to make the closest number possible. So what number is that going to be? I'll give you a second to think about it. All right, what'd you get? Good, 456,667. You guys got lots of 6s. So with that number, what does it round to? I'm in your 10,000s place, so you got to tell me. All right, good. 460,000. Because there was a 6 in the thousands place, which means we are going to round up. Awesome. All right. Are you noticing that it's becoming more difficult to earn a point as we go through the rounds? Yeah, it is. We played roll and round. I want you to tell me the directions for this game. Yeah, you roll 6 dice, you create an original number. First round, we rounded to the nearest 100,000s. Second round, we rounded that original number to the nearest 10,000s. Third round, we rounded that original number to the nearest thousands. Great. So what math did you have to use while you were playing this game? Yeah, you thought about rounding. What else? We definitely use strategy. We couldn't just create the biggest number or the smallest number. Right, there was strategy involved. Right, you got it. We had to create numbers that would round to a certain number. So you had to make some decisions and you had to know about place value. So great job playing this game. This game is actually in your Number Corner book on page 17. So maybe if you guys have time, that might be something that you play with a partner, if that's an option in class. If not, we're not going to just play games without our teacher's permission, right? Right. So great job today. Have a great weekend. Can't wait to see you guys on Monday. Bye.